Dear FAA, I'm Joshua Bardwell, the owner of FPV Know-It-All LLC. My YouTube channel about first-person view racing drones has 144,000 subscribers. In the past 28 days, my videos were viewed 1.2 million times. My channel grows at a rate of about 3,000 new subscribers a month. Since January 2018, my full-time job has been educating people about how to build, fly, and troubleshoot FPV racing drones. I'm a member of the Academy of Model Aeronautics, and I write the bi-monthly column, The Deal with Drones, for the AMA's magazine. I'm also a member of the FPV Freedom Coalition. In the 5 years since I got into model aviation, I've built approximately 50 multi-rotors. Most of them were of my own design. I selected the parts based on the operational requirements. I assembled the aircraft myself. I programmed and configured the flight controller, and I performed flight testing and adjusted parameters to improve flight performance. I'm not an outlier here. The entire viewer base of my YouTube channel is people who build their own model aircraft. The NPRM would eliminate the sale and use of SUAS without remote ID capability within 3 years of its implementation. The only SUAS that could be sold and flown would be from FAA-vetted manufacturers. These manufacturers would be subject to onerous and expensive record-keeping and reporting requirements. They would be at risk of significant legal liability if they were found to be non-compliant. Effectively, the NPRM prohibits individuals from flying aircraft of their own design. The FAA makes a small concession to self-built aircraft by allowing them to be flown at FRIA areas. But many individuals don't live within a reasonable distance of a FRIA, and many flight fields that would become FRIA don't allow all types of vehicles to be flown. The FRIA provision doesn't allow for ad hoc authorization of flight areas for exhibitions or impromptu flight events. The FRIA provision is inadequate. But even if it were adequate, it would not be a permanent solution since it's designed to expire. FRIA may only be approved for 12 months and then never again. In the long term, the only aircraft that may be flown under the FAA's proposed rules are approved kits sold by an FAA-approved manufacturer and flown as is, unmodified by the user. Here's what's wrong with that. Flying a model aircraft is only the last and most superficial part of the model aviation hobby. Model aviation involves aeronautics, electronics, mechanics, computing, programming, and other disciplines. The value of model aviation is not just that it allows people to fly radio-controlled aircraft. Model aviation's value is also that it teaches people to design and build aircraft. The NPRM takes the core of model aviation, designing and building, away from individual hobbyists. The value that will be lost if the NPRM is implemented as currently written is immense. Many hobbyists will no longer be able to legally fly aircraft that they have invested time and money in. STEM programs that use the thrill of flight as an incentive to teach core technology skills to children will be stifled. Law enforcement and other government organizations that rely on highly skilled hobbyists to stay on the cutting edge of drone development will lose that resource. American RC companies will be at a significant disadvantage to foreign companies that are able to ship parts to consumers in the U.S. without restriction. Personally, the NPRM threatens my livelihood since my entire business is based around teaching people to build their own aircraft. Even if the NPRM achieved its goals, the price it demands would be excessive. But the NPRM will not achieve its goal of a completely remote ID compliant national airspace. The hobbyist who has the skills, knowledge, and desire to build a non-compliant aircraft will not be stopped. The foreign companies who manufacture parts to build these aircraft will not be stopped. Hobbyists, by and large, want to fly safely and comply with the law, but given the choice between quitting the hobby entirely and breaking the law, many of them will choose to break the law. Because the NPRM is so restrictive, it will encourage a culture of non-compliance and resentment against the FAA. There are solutions that achieve the FAA's goal of a safe and productive national airspace without alienating RC flight enthusiasts. For example, the FAA's own Drone Advisory Committee proposed a Lance-like system where permission to fly could be obtained via a smartphone app in any location without any particular equipment being installed on the aircraft. Other countries have introduced the concept of shielded operations, where no permission is needed to fly within a certain distance of obstructions that would prevent air traffic. The single most important thing that I would ask the FAA to consider would be a mechanism that allows amateur-built aircraft to fly legally in any area where it is safe to do so, not just at FRIA fields or other pre-approved locations. For more specifics on suggested methods of implementation, as well as other specific concerns about the NPRM, please refer to the FPV Freedom Coalition response to the NPRM, which I am attaching below. Please consider that as an addendum to my comment. Joshua Bardwell.